trees in the house, although I bet you have
Okay.
something better in yours than I have in mine.
Keep
Oh, we couldn't hear you, but we could see it. Oh,
Did
okay, I
I
think you're back.
freeze?
There we are. Yep, you totally froze, but now you're
Okay.
back.
Well, the
So,
reason why I just froze is because those are movers that are calling.
oh, and now you're gone.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Hold on. Am I back?
Nope. I'll let you know.
Ah,
I will just start talking until we can get you figured out. So
no. I
today,
think
I'll let you know when I can see you. Um, we are going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart because in real estate, we work my side of it. You guys probably already know if you've seen someone list a house, the work that goes into listing it from our end with getting the photos done and doing the marketing and lot goes behind that. But really and truly, the rock stars of the hour are always the sellers because without their hard work and efforts, we can't really show the home in its best light. So we always depend on our sellers to do really all the heavy lifting to get the house cleaned and get it organized and get it depersonalized and just really prepare it for showings. So there she is.
okay.
And perfect timing because oh, now she's frozen again. But as soon as the sellers do their part, then the real estate agent gets to jump in. So I think CC, since you're going through it right now, it's the perfect timing to really get a perspective on because here's the thing selling and moving, not they don't say selling, they say moving is one of the top 5 most stressful things you can do. It's one of the top 5 most stressful events that in your life. And there's a reason for that. So I would love to let you just kind of take the floor and talk about because you're in real estate, you know the process, but as a seller, like looking at it from the actual perspective of a actual seller, what
And
that's been
I've
like.
been I wanna disclose I've been a seller before.
Okay.
I want people to know I've sold homes. 3 homes I've sold. This is number 4. 2 cabins and a primary before this. So I'm not exactly new at this, but
Hmm.
I'm new at this. So what it is taking 20 years of my life, 2 cabins, a primary before this one, and then this primary home that I've been in it for 10 years. That's a lot of home in one home. So now I have to purge, so I have to am I keeping it? Am I sending it to Goodwill, or am I throwing it away? Or selling. Yeah, 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 sell it, but that's a lot of effort too, to take 20 years of crafts, and I that sounds silly, my daughter's 15, so really maybe 10 years of crafts. Just seeing how much has accumulated, and I did not know. So here we are taking 20 years. So yes, I've been a seller, but I was seller on a smaller scale, and
Yep.
now I'm in the big one, and we're downsizing. This is not fun.
I know,
And
but you
but
did such
here's
a
the
good
thing.
job.
Yes, here's the thing. I am now a master purger. I had to clean out a work closet. Someone gave me a task and I'm like tossing things out. They're like, you probably shouldn't toss it out. I'm like, are you gonna use this? Well, I'm like, you paused too long. It's out. She
That's
paused.
right.
I threw it out. So that's what I started learning. Now downsizing, which is one of the biggest tools. And I know I probably should read there. You should recommend, we will recommend a few books. We should put it down in the comment. We should recommend some
Yes.
books. I bet since you did this professionally, Holly, you
Hmm.
could recommend some books. So I highly suggest you put that in the comments because I should have read them. And so point number 1, you gotta purge. You just
Yes.
gotta say, I don't have a connection, or I did have a connection and it's
Hmm.
no longer there. Like I have to let it go.
Yes.
I had to look at the memory and go, oh, and then I had to let it go. I couldn't
Mhm.
dwell on the memory. So that was like step number 1. Now, step number 2 that is so crucial is to, when you're downsizing, really thinking about that next space. Who are you
Yes.
going to be in that next
Mhm.
chapter of you? So we have, and for everybody watching, I have a Scarface poster. So everybody knows I like posters. Look, I have Sex in the
Mhm.
City. I have a 6-foot poster of Scarface with the gun on the table at the time that they're about to raid the house.
Oh,
So
man.
that came from a cabin, so I put it downstairs. Love it. But is that really my nenext place?
Does that represent you?
No, it was at a cabin, it was eclectic, it was great, it was a focal point, but the cabin was huge. The living room was 20 by 20. It could have
Mhm.
fit it, it was fine. So having to do this was so much brain power where I probably should have read, and I probably should have started this, and please tell me, Holly, if I'm right or wrong, 2 years prior to wanting to move. Does that, to me, I feel like that sounds right, 2 years. I needed 2 years to do this. I've done this in 2 months.
Well, 2 years is a long
No,
time.
no, no, just to start the true
Yeah,
purge.
because here's the thing, in 2 years, you're also gonna keep bringing stuff into the house too. I would say 6 months for sure. 6 months before you're gonna list,
Mhm.
and if you know you're gonna list, yes, what you're doing, some of the big purging stuff, like really deciding for stagings, we can talk about staging when we're done talking about this. I'd love to talk about staging too. But
Great.
but here's the thing, when you're talking about moving, there's so many moving parts. And I was a professional organizer before I got into real estate. One of the things I did after my divorce. And I've never been a saver of stuff though, just the kid stuff. Like I have bins for the kids stuff, like their memories and all their stuff. But if I'm not using something, I get rid of it. Even clothing. So when I would go shopping, if I bought 5 items, my what they tell you to do in those books is if 5 go in, 5 come out.
I think we lost Holly. Oh, shoot. Because that was such a good point to discuss the 5 in and the 5 out. God bless. And that's what I need. Are you back?
I don't know, am I back?
You're back. So the 5 where we lost you, you're still frozen, is the 5 items in and the 5 items back. And it that's such a good thing to think of.
Yes, so you can hear me, but I just have a really weird look on my face?
Yeah, you look worried. The 5 items, what 5 items did you have to get rid of? Don't say Prada. Don't say Prada.
No,
Oh,
no, no, nothing like that. I would love it if my facial expression could change, but that's okay. We'll just keep talking through this because this is what we love about live. It's just
yes.
always something. No, like if I bought 5 clothing items and I would look through
Mhm.
my, you know, closet and I would get rid of things that I know that I'm not wearing. It might be something in a size that I thought, oh, I'm gonna get back into. And I'm like, okay, let's get real, that kind of a thing, because you can only have so much room in your closet. And so unless you build another one or you take over one of your kids. But that doesn't really usually go well. So yeah, that's basically it with clothes. But like just with items in your house, like you're really focusing on downsizing, which I think is huge, because if you don't know what your next space looks like, you've got to envision that and ask yourself, do I have space for all this?
And that's true because and then that personality, are you going to change your personality of your home too? Like my
Mhm.
next home, I even though I have bright colors all around here, hold on. If anybody wants to see, I have a lot of colors.
You do have a nice
I
looking
want to
room.
do, yeah, hold on. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Hold on. Wait. There you go. So that's my home office here in this location. My next one, Anna and I want to do a boho theme. Clean, white, serene type of personality. I also have my colors, trust me. I also have colors. But that's where does the stuff I have, am I able to really take it? Should I take it? So that
Right.
purging and the 5 in and 5 out, that that's really good advice.
Yeah. It's just a really good rule of thumb. And, you mentioned books. I think there's a book called what is it called? The Joy of Letting Go or something like that. But yeah, there's a couple books on it that are good.
Let it go,
Yeah.
let it go.
You know
Let
what
all
else is
that crap
hard?
go away.
Yes.
Just let it go.
Let it
Get it
go,
out.
Elsa. It's time. Um,
Yes.
so I'm really sorry that my face is frozen like that. It is what it is. I'm trying not to like I swear they always pause you in like the worst moment. Um, but yeah, so when you're thinking about letting go of stuff, something else that's crazy to have to organize and purge and go through is paper. You'd be surprised how many documents we hold on to, or just things that we don't need, kids paperwork. I mean, that in and of itself is an entire
Mhm.
like facet of organizing. When you look at professional organizers, there are professional organizers who just come in and organize people's paper and filing systems and kids like projects and papers and things that they're saving. So
Yeah,
it's a
so
huge thing.
it is because I have, and I didn't know this, because I did not know this, I have 3 boxes for graduation stuff that I've been holding on to Anna's since she was a little kid. I have a little feet print that the daycare person did, that stamp that has, like, the flowers on the toes for her graduation day just to embarrass her. Do you know I have 3 containers of embarrassing stuff for her? I had to put it all in one. Why do I have 3? I just squirreled it all away, and I finally went through the boxes, and I'm like, I really actually condensed that, and I hated having to throw some of her artwork away, but I did throw some away. But I had to, and it's okay.
Right.
I had
I think
to.
I got down to 2 bins per kid.
Okay.
That's what I allowed, was just 2. Because I was like, I mean, with Julia, she was the first one. I had like a bin just from when she finished preschool. And it was like, okay, we can't have 12 bins.
Well,
So,
okay, well, hold on. I have a question for you about Julia.
mhm,
Julia danced, right? Or was it Bella who danced?
they
Or
both
they
did.
both? Okay.
Both.
So I've been saving a few of her figure skate costumes of her team so I could hang up. Did you do that or did you not do that for graduation? Like, did you have like the dance area of like old photos and maybe a costume? Because I was keeping costumes. So I threw some out because I'm in that purge mode. Purge, purge, purge. But I don't know what to do. Am I overdoing it?
Um, so I
As a
have seen
seller.
some people do it. Some people will do that stuff. Some people put up like a letter jacket or whatever. I didn't. For our graduation party, we had a luau theme and I had so many decorations and things. I had a ton of pictures and everything, but what I did was instead of the dance costumes, I had the trophies and the medals. I had a couple trophies and a couple medals, but I didn't
Oh.
actually. I mean, because by the time they got done with competition season, they had worn those costumes so much and you can't
You
really
cannot.
wash them. Yeah.
No,
Like
no, I
you
know.
can do a little bit with it, but I was like,
No.
this should probably just go. So yeah, like when they were little babies, like they're 2 and 3 year old, I think I have a couple of those. But like most of
Okay.
the dance competition stuff, I think I told them like, do you guys want these? And because they're just, Yeah, I didn't see a reason to keep them. Some people will take pieces of those things and have a blanket made or something, but I'm just not that mom. I've never been that mom. That's super crafty. I always think that's amazing, but I'm just not that mom. So, yeah, no, I didn't keep that. Or I didn't put
Okay,
it at
because as
graduation.
a seller of downsizing of 20 years of 4 homes, like, really combined, when we sold the first cabin, all the stuff came here. Then we purchased a second cabin, and it was a whole different size. We went from a 4-bedroom. Now this is, so everybody knows, this is a family cabin, not my cabin. So the family cabin that was sold. Ooh, you're back.
Oh, I better be careful what I do because
Yay!
it's gonna freeze me looking like an idiot. Okay. I don't know
I'll
what I
do
just
it.
did. I just was hitting a bunch of things. I'm
High
back.
five. Wait,
I'm
high
back.
five
High
to me.
five. High five.
No, no, go, can you go? Oh, yeah,
No,
no,
I
the other
can't.
way.
No, because
Whoop.
you gotta go the other way.
No,
Flip
no,
your
no, you were right. No, no, the other way. Okay, go.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it worked on my end.
It didn't work on my end.
We'll see how this one turns out. Who
Oh
was right?
yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be a big hit.
So, the blind
Sorry, all the
leading the
excitement of
blind
me
here.
actually being back on screen and figuring that out.
Cheers.
Because somebody tried to call me. That's what it is. Someone tried to
Yes,
call me. Cheers. People should know that we're going live. I mean, doesn't America know? We are busy right now.
we're
Why does
talking
everyone have to
about
interrupt us?
selling.
Like
I know,
one
that's why
hour
it
of
was
the
great.
week. 1 hour of the week.
I can do airplane mode. You can't
I
because
cannot.
I'm your guest. I can airplane mode the whole thing. But no, being a seller of such a large quantity, this is so different. I'm in a different wheelhouse. I've been a seller before, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. No, this is real.
It's a
I feel
lot.
like I'm in a trench, but it's also good, as I said. So, moving on from just the packing itself, getting the house ready for staging. And for everybody to know, Holly is my listing agent. Of course. She's my,
Worse.
of course, the listing agent. So I had to get the house ready for Holly to show up. Okay, I'm panicking. I'm sweating. I don't perspire. Never perspire. But I am like panicking that this chick or wherever you're at in the screen
Yeah, that
is
way.
heading over to my house to tell me you got to do better. I'm panicking. So
Oh, I
we're
would not have
we're
said that. I would have helped you. I would jump in and help. You guys were doing amazing.
well, I power washed just for you the
Never
entrance,
have I
the
ever had
cement.
someone do that. It was amazing.
Well, because you're gonna do your videos and you have to look amazing with white cement.
It looked
So
amazing, that white
got
cement.
that got that done, but getting past the packing, then getting the house ready to be show ready, that is an experience as in itself. So me being a mortgage lender, I hear clients say a lot, I really wish I could buy a house before I move. And I
Mhm.
got it a little, but then I'm thinking, because I've been a seller, I'm like, do you really need to? I regret thinking those thoughts. I feel like from down below, someone was laughing at me and I was smacking me and go, see, you're eating your words because this was no joke. Downsizing of 20 years, getting a house ready for now showing. We had the floors done. We had the painting done. Your advice was so good. We keep taking your advice, and I'm so thankful that we took your advice. So I know you gave it to me, and nobody knows your advice. Please tell everybody what what you suggest for when you go to get your house ready. What are the key points that you would like to share? 'Cause I know you shared them with me, and that's
Sure.
why we're here at the stage.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. One of the big ones is the depersonalization. And that really and truly is the mindset of everything. So we all want to get on the same page with mindset because even though you have enjoyed this house for 10 years and your family has enjoyed it and there are that your family's mark is all over the house, which is normal.
Mhm.
What you want to do when you're listing, new families are walking through. They don't want to see, not that they don't like you. You're cute, your kid's cute, everything's cute, but they don't want to see you. They're looking to envision their life there. So when they're seeing, like, let's say family photos and family albums and, oh, the kids' trophies and all the stuff, in their mind, it's again, it's focusing on you, not so much on the space. So the depersonalization is, let's get as much out of this space as possible. Like if there's clutter or if there's, extraneous things, let's get everything off. Let's make sure the refrigerator doesn't have 100 magnets on it and everybody's schedule when Bobby has to be at baseball, all of that. Because we want people to walk through and we want them to start thinking about their life. We want them to start envisioning where their stuff's going to go. And, if they celebrate Christmas, where's the Christmas tree going to go? And they're kind of picking that spot out. All of that,
Oh, I
all of that
know. I
all of that
forgot
stuff is
about
so
that.
important. Yeah, we talked about that. So that's like when you start to see it. When you are walking through, I've had this happen. I'm walking through showing buyers and they'll stop and they'll look and they'll see someone's diploma on the wall and they'll go, oh my gosh, that's my PA, or that's my, I went to school with him. He has this thing up. And I'm it's not like, it's not what you want, because then it gets a little weird because then now the seller,
Mhm.
and just for obvious reasons, because you don't know sometimes the people that are walking through your home, sometimes the agents don't know them that well. It's just, why do they need to see that you have a couple kids there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessary. It's kind of a safety issue as well. um so can't always hide those things, but you don't have to obviously blast it everywhere either. So the depersonalization is huge. And then, like, for photos, this is another big one, staging the rooms. So I like to stand in the corner of a room and look across and imagine, like, where the photographer is going to get the shot. And as far across as I can look, if something stops my eye line and I can't see all the way across the room, then I want to remove that item if I can. Like if it's some big, beautiful floral arrangement on the table and it looks great. But yes, because if it's
But
going to
gotta
stop
go.
me, it's got to go, because I want that room to look open. I don't want anything blocking the shot.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things have to go. If there's a lot of tchotchkes, that a lot of like cluttery things, a lot of like stuff on, let's say you don't have any of this, that's why it's easy to talk to you about this, but like on shelves or anything, what that does is that brings the room in, it makes it small,
Well, I
feel
did
small.
here in my office. I had that whole bookshelf because I love my business books, and I
Oh,
love that.
yes.
So I took it away. Hold on.
Yep.
See, look how open that is.
Exactly, and it looks, did you like the photos? Because it looked fantastic in the photos. That room,
Yes.
like, was open, like, and then we talked about kids' rooms, and I know because I have kids with stuff on their walls too, and so I typically don't do photos in kids' rooms if they have a ton of stuff on the walls, just because it really is too busy and it doesn't look well. It doesn't
It
market well in photos at all. You don't
it
want,
is because Anna has guitars on her wall, skateboards
Mhm.
on her wall, all her
We've got
skating
that too.
medals,
Mhm.
all just and it's so personal. Now
Yeah,
that it's for the showing, we took it all down for the showing. For the
right.
photos, we didn't do photos. Um, but yeah, depersonalizing my home,
Mhm.
that that was interesting, and
It's
I
huge.
took down some photos. I'm like, "Okay, this is real." It
It
felt
is.
real. It was
It
another
is.
level or another element of real. Okay, I'm cleaning, I'm packing, I'm cleaning, I'm packing. I got the
Mhm.
house ready for photos. Depersonalize it. Okay, it's another level. Then the sign going into the yard was another level. You
Yeah,
listing it
it makes it
online,
real.
it just,
It
like,
makes
kept,
it real. Yeah.
like, I wanna say layers like an onion, but I don't want to. Ooh, what about baklava? Like, layers of baklava,
There you go.
of
Oh, now you're gonna make me
having the stuff.
hungry.
I know. Ooh, I have, like, dessert too from Vincent Joe's. I would totally
Oh
make you
gosh,
jealous
you had
right
to say
now.
you have dessert from Vincent Joe's. That was so
I
mean.
know,
That
I
was
know. My friend Franny gave me
that's like
dessert
me
and
telling you I'm
sent
gonna
me
make
home.
cookies when we get off of this. I'm gonna make
Maybe
cookies.
maybe we should just come to our house and just binge, even
Let's
though
make
we're far
cookies.
away.
Yes, exactly. No, but
Oh,
like there's so much. So I could talk for hours about staging a house and like putting the rooms, they say feng shui, the Asian culture says feng shui, and
mhm.
it means, I forget, but basically it's, you don't want your pathway impeded by something and you want it to feel open. And that's the biggest thing. And then your exterior, which you did a great job on, you clean the concrete. Nobody else ever does that. But like power washing, sometimes I've told people, like, if, especially if they have a light brick, or if it looks like, it needs it, like if you're in the country or something and you've got, or if you're
Oh,
near water
that
and you've got the
water with
wind,
the is it
water's
iron,
huge.
copper? What's in it?
Yeah. Or just having the
What
sand and whatever, or if you're by a construction, if you're in if it's a new enough sub, and they came in the dust and all that good stuff, power washing a house and just really making sure it's really well manicured and the weeds are gone and the shrubs look great and all the landscaping is pretty, and the patio is set up nice, getting rid of junk that you don't need out there, just really simplifying is huge. It's really huge. And I recommend, like in our area, because I used to be a professional organizer, I have someone I recommend people to that I worked with at first, and then I did some on my own. But real estate agent should be able to refer you to a professional organizer, or someone who will come in and help you declutter, purge, get rid of things, all of that. It's kind of like what we do. We need to be able to. It's one thing for me to just say, okay, see, so you have to do this and this and this and this and this, and you're going, I need some help. So if you need help, we have help. We have people that we can refer to, because it is a big job. Like you said, you felt like you wanted an extra 2 years to get it
I
done. And some people don't have the extra time. They've got to like do it
go.
now. So if you got to do it now, just know there's people out there you can call, and they will come in and help you get ready to sell the house. There's people specifically that do just that. In fact, remember we had Holly Germardi on our
Yes.
podcast.
Yes,
She does
Holly.
a lot of this. She
Mm.
helps people who are getting ready to sell, or just quick, like redecorating. But I don't think she gets in and does a lot of the purging per se. But she does come in and do a
No,
consult and helps.
our friend Janelle does that.
Okay.
So I think Janelle does that, Holly does the staging, and
Mhm.
I would be the seller. That would be the team, and you'd be the real estate agent. So that would be the whole like team
Right.
that would come in, purge, because Janelle sits there and says, "Are you keeping it, throwing it away, goodwilling, or selling it?"
Right.
And just keeps going. Holds it up. You have 1 second. If you do
Mhm.
not respond, Janelle has a place for it, and it's not with you.
Right. It's the
Because you didn't
circular
respond
file.
fast
It's a
enough.
circular
And
file. Well, and here's the thing.
yeah.
Sometimes we're balling on a budget, right? So sometimes people are like, okay, I can't really afford to
Yeah.
have somebody come in and really stage everything. So I can get really creative with looking with what we have, and really like checking out each room. And maybe sometimes it just has to do with like moving the couch or moving the chairs and just setting it up differently. Sometimes people have
Mhm.
beautiful pieces hiding in the basement, and I'm like, what is this doing down here? Let's bring this up. This would look so nice. So really looking at repurposing the furniture for another use. So we can get really
Oh,
creative with
that's
that
such
too.
a good idea. What if, because we got rid of all the old furniture downstairs, why don't I take that yellow one and restage it in the center around this like awkwardly placed TV right now? I should do that for tomorrow's showings.
Which TV? What are we talking about? Which TV? You mean in the basement?
In the basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's the thing, is you can just move things around, repurpose them. So I worked for someone once that was downsizing, and she was getting divorced, and she was moving into she moved into an apartment, and it was a lot smaller. So what we did was she had like old old chest of drawers, and she didn't like how it looked, but she also didn't have enough space in the closet. So what we did was we took that, we put it in the closet because it was a walk-in. So then we positioned it in the closet in a way that she could still have like all these drawers in the closet. It had a door on it, so you didn't actually see it,
Oh.
but she was able to have like, that's how we were able to get all of her stuff to fit in her closet. So things like that, just getting creative and really looking at, just because something is a chest of drawers doesn't mean you can't put it in a closet. Doesn't mean it has to be displayed, right? If it's, let's say you're on a budget and you find one that's $50 and you're like, hey, I'm going to take this. You can do this. Stick it in the closet, and you can still use it for drawers, and it can be useful. So it's a lot of
Okay.
ways to try to maximize your space. Now we're kind of looking at, downsizing with maximizing your space, but it really has a lot to go hand in hand with what are you taking with you, like you mentioned, what do I need to
Mhm.
keep? What am I going to need in the next space? Maybe there's some furniture pieces that are just too big that aren't going to fit. Maybe you
Yeah,
can sell them or,
my
you
living
know,
room set,
mhm, right.
it's too big for the next place.
Sure.
Just
Yeah, it's the bigger
it's
furniture.
nice for this place,
Yeah,
but not the downsizing of 20 years. Let's say
right.
this one more time, 20 years
Right.
of your life. Downsizing, it's good. It's good to have that downsizing mindset, but that type of furniture,
Mhm.
not so much.
Well, because those are really big pieces. Like you have three big couches. Like for me, I had the same thing when I had gotten divorced. I had three big, really big couches and tables and all this stuff. So I sold it all because I knew I was going to a much smaller place, and I got like an L shaped couch, which fit perfectly into my smaller space. And it's like you can get a lot of people on it. It's more compact and it's easier to situate than three bigger pieces. So
Mhm.
it's kind of just like really looking at the space that you're going to be in and determining what's going to work and what's not going to work. And if it's not going to work, then you get rid of it. Maybe you just sell it. Maybe you donate it. Maybe you sit it on the curb and some random comes by with a truck and takes it because we know that when that happens. I've seen that happen before too. Like, okay, they want my stuff. You can have it. But yeah. So there's so much, but really and truly it's the planning and give yourself some grace and make sure you take breaks because it's very overwhelming. One thing we didn't talk about is the emotional aspect of the physical is like you're heavy lifting, you're cleaning, you're arduous, you're moving, but that mental piece of, oh my gosh, it's a lot. So you
It
do have to make sure you take a break now and then and you step away for a second, and you need to realize that
Can I
that's a
have
big
that
part.
now? Am I
Yeah.
there yet?
You
Am I
can do
there
that.
yet? Am I
Once
close?
we're under contract, you're really going to be able to relax because you won't have to worry about showings and keeping everything perfect. That's
Am I
nice.
there yet? I feel
You're
like it's
so close.
retirement. I'm
You're
like,
so
okay.
close. You're so close. Yeah. And that's the thing is during the showings too. Once you get it, so that's the other part. You get it great, and then you're like, oh man, we got to keep it great. So I know that's the tough part of it. But you're the heavy lifting part, getting in there and getting the deep clean because no one really realizes that all of our houses right now, if I really looked, I'd be like, ew, my house really needs a deep
It's
cleaning.
yes,
It
and I
does.
to get that additional help because I again have a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Little mess makers they
I
are.
have a golden retriever who loves to shed a puppy a day. So
Sure.
I'm like, it's a Swiffering and wiping things down and oh
I know,
yeah.
it's
So
so
I'm almost there,
much.
right? Just tell me there's
Yes,
light at the
you've
end of the
done so
tunnel.
there's so much light at the end of the tunnel, and you're
I
gonna be
need it.
so happy that you guys purged and did the work,
Mhm.
because once you're under contract, even though we're gonna have, some 30 days occupancy, so technically I have about 60 days from then, you just don't wanna have to do it. Some people wait and then they're so stressed out and it's like, just don't
I
wait, be
can't.
doing something every day, even though again I know it's intensive,
Mhm.
but if you piecemeal it every day, then it makes it so much easier than like a 911. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
this is D-Day, we have to be out this day, and then because it's always more than you think it's going to be. You always have more stuff than you think you have, even when you do purge, even when you whittle it down, you're still like, wow,
You
this
can
is
keep
still.
going. I know I'm gonna
Mhm.
keep going. Actually bought
Yeah.
a few things, I'm like, "I know I wanna keep this, but I don't think I'm gonna keep this." So I know I
Feels
have a
good to get
second
rid of stuff
run.
though, doesn't it?
You know
You
what?
feel lighter. It's like when you see space in cabinets where once they were maybe all junk drawers or
Mhm.
whatever, and you can actually open the drawer and you're like, gosh, this looks nice. It sends this message to your brain that you don't. Do you know that this is some brain research for you that I learned when I was doing the organizing? When you
Mhm.
open, like, let's say a cabinet and it's just a mess, it sends a message of chaos to your brain. It tells your brain, this is chaotic. And then your brain, then in turn, like, it's not just a chaotic cabinet anymore. It's sending these messages that you're living in chaos to your brain. And then that's when people start to feel this heaviness and they just don't understand it. I have watched people when we purge their house and I put things back, they cry. Like there's a release of this like this weight that's lifted. I can't really explain it. It's like
Well, I'm
there's
getting there
tears.
because
Yeah.
so I know, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but my junk drawer in the kitchen, I'm just gonna take it and all I wanna do is dump it. I'm not gonna keep one pen. I'm not gonna go through and see what's in there. I promised myself I'm just gonna dump it into the trash and not look.
There you
Even
go.
though I know there's like 40 lighters and I don't smoke. I just
And
like
paper
candles,
clips. And
paper
paper
clips,
clips and
and I always steal everybody's lighter, and I'm a
glitter.
non-smoker.
I found
It's
glitter the
funny.
other day.
I
Red
do
glitter.
have I guarantee I have
In
glitter.
my junk drawer, there's red glitter. I'm like, I don't
I
know
think
why.
I'm just gonna dump it, and I have a feeling that in itself is going to, like, release this and see it. I should probably do it sooner than later.
Most people say after they've done all the work, we do the photos and the house looks fantastic.
Whoa.
"Hmm, maybe I don't want to move. I kind of
Whoa,
like how my house looks right now."
wait a minute. I have a very serious question for you.
Sure. What?
Do buyers open up drawers? Like, what if they opened up drawers in the kitchen and see my junk drawer?
They do open drawers in the kitchen. It's perfectly acceptable for buyers to look at the drawers and because if it's here's the thing, is it staying with the house? Now, they better not be opening your chest of drawers in furniture. No, if it's
Oh my
furniture,
gosh, I'm gonna be so
no, they
jealous.
can't
They're
open that.
gonna
That's
think
your
I'm
personal items. But yeah, the drawers, they want to look because they want to make sure like they'll look under the sink to make sure there wasn't like leaks because you can see if the cabinets are all warped. They'll look at they want to see what the status of the drawers are. Are they all marked up? Are they all gooey? Is it like I've seen some nasty
oh
drawers. So
no, I didn't even think about
they
that, the
do look in that, but they're not
drawers.
looking at your stuff. They're just looking at like, oh my
I
gosh,
gotta
did they
throw it
like
away.
have candle wax drip down and get in the drawers and I've
No,
seen you'd be surprised what I've seen. So they will look at drawers and cabinets just because that comes with the house, but they should not be opening your personal effects. Nobody should be
I
going in
shouldn't. So I should just
your
really go
drawers
to
in your bedroom or anything. Like
my
that's
kitchen junk drawer. Actually, I think I probably 2 or 3 because my kitchen, I don't even know how I have so many cabinets. Very blessed, I have a lot of cabinets. So I have, like, 3 junk drawers. So I should just
yeah. When you
dump it.
upsize, you think, "Oh my gosh, I walked into the house I'm in now, it says 38. There's 38 cabinets I counted because I had when I got divorced, I went into a house with a galley kitchen. I had not enough cabinets. So when I looked at 38 cabinets, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'll never fill them." Do you know they're totally full now? Because you will grow into the space.
Okay, so
You will grow into the space.
yeah,
You'll
how
fill
long
it.
like a goldfish, you grow to the size of your
Of your
environment.
container. Yes. So that's the
Yes.
thing when you're downsizing.
How long
Yeah.
have you lived in your house for?
This house, 7 years. The first
Okay.
house after the
I'm
divorce was 5 years. This house, 7 years.
Okay, because 'cause I'm 10 years in this house. So 10 years in this house, the house prior, we were there for, like, 5 or something years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Nick. Nick says we're boring.
Okay.
Well, if you're not downsizing, it might not be your cup of tea. It might be
No,
another room you want to
no,
check
you're in
out.
a different stage of your life. You're
Different
very
stage of your life.
lucky. Very, very different stage. But, no, so gosh, I have 3 showings tomorrow, so I probably should just empty those drawers
Yeah, it'll
now.
feel good. You'll feel accomplished. It's amazing how accomplished you'll feel.
Okay.
Honestly. I used to tell people like when they were looking at like total chaos everywhere. And it's like, just start in one area. And maybe it's just a drawer, like you said, maybe it's just literally emptying out that one drawer.
I didn't
You
even
feel
think
good
they
about that.
looked.
They do just, I mean, they're gonna open every single one, but they just usually
Mm.
look just to see what the status
I
is on it.
guarantee everybody gets attracted to that one drawer. They know where the junk drawer is. Everybody has a junk drawer.
Yeah,
Everybody
everybody
knows
does.
where that junk drawer is. Now,
Yeah.
I have a neighbor, her name's Lisa, who goes to the Container Store. Everything's divided. Her kitchen is beautiful, and her junk drawer has individual dividers of junk divided in its own column.
But it's
Has a
organized
pen.
junk. It's organized junk.
She does have an organized junk drawer. I'm like,
Organized
I
junk drawer. I
just
love it.
wanted to take it and just shake it up when she's sleeping. I'm gonna move things around. I'm gonna whoosh, 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 mess with her. But then she'd probably have a heart attack because
Probably. People are funny about where their stuff is, honestly. I've
yeah,
learned
yeah.
that the human condition when you try to help somebody who's a hoarder. So I had somebody who was probably, there's levels of hoarding. I did not work with like level 4 hoarding. You can't, because you actually have to have a
Wait,
psychologist on
there's
site.
levels. See,
There's
I don't
levels.
watch the show. Okay,
I can't watch the show because it makes me so nervous, but I could work with some people who weren't level 4. Like a level 4, I believe that's the highest level, is someone who truly needs like a medical
professional.
professional, like a
Mhm.
counselor, because they're so attached to stuff, and it's usually from trauma. And I'm not a trauma specialist, right? I have no background in that. So I couldn't help with that. But
You're
walking
just
into
a
people's.
divorce specialist in real
Right,
estate
I'm a divorce
for
specialist.
all of
Yes.
us.
Which is
Okay.
enough trauma, right? That's enough. But yeah, some situations like that, you definitely need. And I didn't do the situations where there was probably like rats and things potentially, or like
Oh, the
mold, because I'm
cats.
allergic to mold. Rats. Like
No, but
it's
even multiple cats
yeah,
too. So a
yeah.
community I used to work in when I used to be in landlord tenant, one of the communities, it was a mobile home community, and it you could only walk in a foot and a half path. Now,
Hmm.
it's a
Yeah,
mobile home, single wide. One match would take the whole thing up, and there
yep.
was cats above you.
Yeah,
And
not
she
good.
would have a big bag of cat food, and she would just take a knife, can't make this up, big 5 pound or 15-pound bags, slice it right down the middle, and leave it there for the cats to eat. That probably was level
There's
4,
always a
right?
path. So they do always have a path to walk through. But it's interesting how sometimes, so did you know that OCD and hoarding actually sometimes go hand in hand? It's weird because
No.
most people think that OCD means you're super clean.
Yeah.
OCD just means you're habitual. You have habits and things have to be a certain way. So if it's a clean, then you have to have it a
Okay.
certain way and certain clean. But if it's like just a habitual thing, like they have to have it a certain way. And that's why hoarding is considered, a category of mental illness that needs to be addressed. And it has to do with, like, again, purging more than
Mhm.
just your stuff. But I did have some clients that, one of them, I remember she had a small home, very similar to what you're talking about, pathways. And I was working with someone else, thankfully, um, who he knew what he was doing, because I was newer to this. After my divorce, I got into it with him. And I am like a clean person, I would say. I mean, my house isn't perfect, but I don't like clutter. Clutter makes me nervous. And so I walked through this and I was getting nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, trying to just breathe through it myself, because I was like, oh my gosh, how does she live like this? And like my job was to help her with her clothes. So like we went through and she would have, like, I'm not kidding you, 10 purple dresses. And so we would have like lilac and plum, and I would say to her, "Okay, I'm going to let you keep one from each color of purple." And then and I spent a lot of time with her just doing that. And I needed her for that. I needed her physically for that. So I kept just
Yeah.
saying, I don't want to wear clothes. And he would be doing things that we knew that we could just get rid of.
Get rid
But
of.
yeah, it's a serious thing. And
Wow.
there's levels. There's definite levels to it. And most of us live in a way where, yeah, we have stuff that we could get rid of. So my recommendation is just, even if you're not selling, every year, that's why they call it spring cleaning, right? Every year especially if you're wintertime and it's like you're stuck in the house anyways, just go down in the basement, start looking through the stuff and start
I
seeing if you could just purge
know.
some stuff out, make it easy on yourself.
Moving forward in my life, I am definitely doing that.
Just keep it simplified, and
Yeah.
like don't keep stuff that you're not going to use. You go and you get the thing for the wedding, you go to a wedding, you get some whatever, and you're like, I'm not going to use this. Just get rid of it, just sell it, give it to somebody.
Mhm,
Don't keep
mhm.
it. I used to have all those things from all the weddings, the bomboniere, they had the Italian weddings. They had all the almonds were attached, and God only knows how those almonds were to a bunch of things that I was never going to use. So, like when I did get divorced and I was moving on, I was like, we can get rid of all of these because I'm not going to use
Yeah.
18 salt and pepper shakers and some of this stuff. I was like, at the time, I was like, this is great. It's a great gift. I didn't already have five of them, but yeah. So that is it. That is all. I think that
So
it's
let's
just a
wrap it up with being a
yeah,
seller and
put
just
a
let
bow on it.
everybody know I'm a seller. This is what we're talking about, the different stages, learning of how to downsize 20 years and 4 homes, basically. So that's 2 primaries, 2 cabins into that next stage of life.
Yep.
And there's a lot of learning lessons, a lot of learning lessons. And
And give yourself time. Don't try to do it all at the last minute if you can avoid that. Sometimes it's unavoidable. But if it if
okay.
you do know that it's coming, like usually people do know that it's coming when they're going to move. Usually, not always if there's a job transfer or something out of the blue.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's always easier to just do a little bit at a time instead of having to be like 911. What's your emergency? I gotta get my stuff out of the house.
Like
Holly's coming. Holly's
tomorrow,
coming with her photographer.
I was able to call those guys. I'm like, "How early? I need you, 911." I can't do it all,
Yeah.
and
No,
while
you
we
got to
were
know what
on
your limits are for sure. You
so
do the best you can.
yes,
Sometimes it is what it is. You do the very best that you can. You know, eh, you do the best that you can. And I always tell when I have the buyer and I'm walking through, I'm like, listen, a good buyer's agent should be instructing their buyers, don't look at the stuff. Look at the bones of this home. Look at the
yeah,
space.
but
Look at the
sometimes, like,
open
you can't
areas.
because it's such an obstruction of view,
It is hard. Well, for photos, it's tough because you use those
but
photos to market it. But I'm always
even
trying to tell people,
downstairs.
look outside of that. Look at the space. Most people's garages are not very organized, and basements, if they're not like beautifully finished to the nines like mine is not, usually they're not. So it's like, look at this space, look how big this space is, right? Don't focus
Mhm,
on their stuff, focus on yours. But when you can, as the seller, depersonalize so they can focus more on themselves and where they're going to put their stuff and what their life's going to look like there. That's the visual you want them to be walking through. You want that beautiful picture to be painted as they're walking through, and they're just kind of, and that's what they're doing. They're envisioning, can I live here? Is this our place? Is this where the family's coming to
mhm,
put down our new roots? That's what they're trying to see. Make it easy for them, right? Make it
yes,
easy.
yes, yes,
And you did
yes.
amazing, by the way. You're amazing. You're an
Oh,
amazing
thank you.
rock star seller. Guys worked really hard to get the house ready, and it
We
shows, and it
did.
looks great in the photos and the video. And so, um, you
I'm
know,
even shocked that the 15-year-old did her room. I'm
well,
like,
because when kids know that random strangers are going to walk through, and oh my gosh, what if I know them? You can always just say that. Like, what if somebody knows
she
you?
would have been so horrified.
You're right. Exactly. You
Like,
can use that. Like the whole like Santa's
no.
not going to come if you're not good. Oh, the buyers are coming. They're going to see if you're dirty.
Oh my gosh.
The
Oh
buyers
my
are
gosh.
coming. Get the house ready. Get the room ready.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again. It's been a fun convo as always.
As
And
always, wait, cheers with our
oh,
palm trees. Good thoughts.
to our Floridian
Mine says
dreams.
Key West.
That's so much cuter than
Hee.
mine. I
I
just have
can't say the
tea.
word. I can't
I
say the
see
word.
it.
Can I say the word?
Probably not. We might get censored.
I don't wanna be
No, you prob
censored, but
you
there
probably
is a
can.
word
You probably
after that,
can.
so
I don't know what the
I'm
rules are here.
I'm
I
okay
did say it's
not
not for
doing it.
kids. I did say it's not for kids because they asked if this is for kids. I always say no.
Mm.
So,
Well,
guess we can
thank you
do what
to
we
my
want.
friend Franny for the cup and to keep my eye on the prize. Florida, right?
Florida,
Florida.
Florida.
Yes,
We're gonna do
downsizing.
this in Florida,
Yes.
100%. And we're gonna have a YouTube
And then
channel. Instead of Emily in Paris, it's gonna be Holly and Cece in Florida. And we're gonna Instagram that. Yeah. I'm
let's
already
do it.
preparing. I'm already getting ready with the idea. Like it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be walking through just like
Amazing.
she did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on as a guest.
Thank you for sharing your experience and your wisdom and all of the good stuff. And I will see you next week, same time, 6:30 on
Same time.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Have a
Bye.
great night.